morning. I know the saying, day late, dollar short kind of thing. I meant to get this out yesterday, but the day just wasn't a good day. I didn't wake up to my upbeat song, and that started the day off not so very well. I was 45 minutes late in getting up. I overslept, got to work, got my things that I needed accomplished at work done. So that was a good thing. And instead of looking at the positive, I looked at the negative, which caused, I got on the phone. There were some things I needed to take care of. And talking to some people, you can't make them understand what you're trying to get across. So then instead, you just don't want to deal with it. You just put it on the back burner and say, oh, you know what? They'll never understand. They don't get it. And you give up. Or maybe you don't even approach them and say, hey, you know what? This isn't right. You need to fix this. Or do you understand how it should be, kind of thing? But I think sometimes self-esteem plays a part in this. I think my self-esteem at the point when somebody kind of I feel that is above me tries to give me instruction, I think, okay, their word is their word, instead of kind of standing up and saying, well, you know what, that might work in one way, but in reality, it doesn't really work. So instead, I just let it go and say, okay, I'll just roll with it. Well, I need to change that, and that's kind of our motto for this week, working on our self-esteem. And I know in the past, I grew up with 5 brothers, no sisters, and I was more or less a tomboy, and I never got into all the fashion and everything else. So I kind of just, hey, clothes are clothes. I don't care about name brands, and I don't care about if this actually if it matches, it's good. But I just don't put that much emphasis in that. There's so many other things that pique my interest. So that is one thing that I need to work on. Not to get materialistic or anything, but just to take and feel good about who I am. Because I remember in the past, someone had made a comment, well, it's not, I think I said to them, you know, well, you're my better half. You're supposed to make me feel good, and that builds my self-esteem. And they, in return, said, you know what? You build your own self-esteem. You can't depend on other people to build your self-esteem. And at that moment, I was like, well, I don't know, but yeah, you're probably right. And in some ways, he was right. But I think also if you say positive things to people that you come in contact with instead of negative, they do feel better about themselves. So let's work on, speaking other people positively, instead of putting a negative spin on things. And yesterday, I have to say, in interacting with 2 things I had to take care of, like my roof that is a mess. And a year ago, there was some storm damage and it's still not fixed. And I had lost my temper. And when you lose your temper, you can't speak rationally. And I need to work on that. I don't often lose my temper, but, after, over a year of dealing with something, and then there's still other things that have to be done. And you're looking at all your neighbors who had storm damage, and they're like, they got new siding, they got a new roof, they got new windows, it's all together. And here I am, not even having a decent roof. So I kind of lost it yesterday. So that is the thing we're going to do. I kind of gave you a background and probably rattled on more than I needed to. But let's work on our self-esteem. Let's work on, okay, you know what? If you know something is right and you can prove that it's right, stand up for that. Don't let people push you around and say, you know what, my way is the only way. Stand up and say, you know what, I also have an opinion, and this is my opinion, and I would appreciate if you would take into consideration my opinion as I do yours, instead of just kind of cowering and saying, okay, I'll just go with, it's easier to keep the peace to go along with it. Stop keeping the peace and having it reflect negatively on you just because you don't feel that you're worthy enough for your opinion. So in dealing with people this week, I want you to have a positive attitude when you deal with them. I need to work on that. And, and find a positive thing to say about them when you see them. And I think that things will be a lot better, and maybe your interaction with them will be better. And perhaps they will come back and say something positive to you because you are having a positive conversation. So let's work on our positivity this week. And that's with our significant others, with our children, with friends, whoever you come in contact with. People want to be treated positively. So let's do that and continue to work on everything else, such as you're drinking your water, you're handling your projects, that you're working on your procrastination, those kind of things. I want you to be happy, and I want you to live a full life and not stand this one out because you think you're too big, too small, too insecure. I want you to get in there and live life, and that's what this is about, living life. It's not so much about the weight as it is living life. But it's nice to lose that weight if you need to feel more energized. And this week, I did lose 1 pound. And that was another thing. Yesterday, my sister-in-law contacted me and she said, I dropped a pant size. And I wanted to say but I kept it positive and said, great, good for you. I probably need to work harder then. So good luck this week, and I wish you the best. Take care.